All right. Now we're recording. Last time I tried this, I forgot to click the record button. Went on a
Oh,
whole 30-minute interview and didn't even record. But anyways, so quick introduction. I don't know your real name yet. Well,
yeah,
you can just start with your first name. What is it?
Rosemond.
Rosemond. Okay. So Rosemond, you hit me up on Facebook because you saw one of my rentals and you were trying to look you were looking for a place, I'm guessing. That's why you hit me up. All right. And then I figured out you're a stripper. And I said, you know what, let's do an interview because why not? It'll be interesting to hear a different perspective because we don't every day go outside and hear the average person telling us they're a stripper and tell us more about their life story. So that's why you were here. So tell us a little bit about you. And
Um,
also, you can keep your location unknown here. You don't have to disclose that part. Go ahead.
well, I was raised by three parents, basically. My mom, my stepdad, and my biological dad. My biological dad left when I was 5. And then my stepdad left when I was 13. And then my mom just broke into chaos. And so I had to deal with a lot with my mom. And that's kind of that type of background. I don't know what other kind of background do you want. I ended up dropping out of high school because I got kicked out of my house, which is kind of why I started stripping, because it's quicker to get money, and so I can graduate high school.
You gotta speak a little bit louder. You're kind of cutting out, but I
Okay.
got most of that. Yeah. Still there? All right. Technical difficulties. Anyways, so how old are you now?
20.
You're
I
20 years
just
old. You just turned 20? Okay, well, happy late birthday. Um, how long you been stripping?
2.5 months, not very long.
What got you into it?
I used to be a waitress, and then from there I moved to a different club, and from there I just switched jobs with the different club.
So why stripping though from waitress out of any other professions?
Well, I've been in fast food. I worked at Taco Bell for 2.5 years, or 2 years, somewhere around there. And
That's your
I
cat?
did that. Yeah, I have several.
Classic cat lady?
Now I have some dogs. I only have as many cats as I do now because this one,
Okay.
she had 5.
Okay.
I still have 2.
So you mentioned that your parents were divorced or separated when you were 5.
They were never they broke up when I was 6 months old, and my mom ended up marrying my stepdad when I was 1. And so I was raised by all 3 of them.
Were they ever married? Your biological parents?
My parents, no.
So I'm guessing you were not planned.
No.
Okay. You ever
Not at all.
you ever met your real father, your biological father?
I actually just seen him for the first time in 10 years a few days ago. I just got back from vacation from seeing him.
So how would you describe the relationship between you and your real father, biological?
Right now we're working on it. We used to be really close, and then a lot of chaos just happened, and I stopped going to see him, and our relationship died for the last 10 years.
So when you were in your teens and growing up as a child, he wasn't really around, is what you would
Yeah,
say.
from the age of 10 to the age of 20.
And since when was your stepfather in your life?
He's been in my life my whole life. Like he was around when I was born. They had to get a DNA test to see which one was my real father.
What's
Um,
the what would you say the relationship is with him?
Dead.
Huh?
It's dead.
With your stepfather?
Yeah, our relationship is dead.
You never had any good relationship with him, or
We had a really good relationship until I was like 12, and then it stopped. We no longer have a good relationship. He's the father of my little brother, and that's the only thing I know him as.
so what happened at 12 that ended that relationship?
I don't really remember. I remember I yelled at him because he was being a dick to my mom, and then he just stopped talking to me. He barely spoke 200 words to me in like a year. So
Was
and
there
I'm
any
always naturally just a daddy's girl. So like my stepdad and my biological dad, like I was really close with both of them when I was young, and so it hurt a lot. And I've dealt with a lot of stupid abandonment issues since.
so was there any instance where he might have made any kind of inappropriate advances towards you?
Nope.
Okay. But it would be a correct assumption to make that you kind of grew up without any kind of father figure
For the second half of my life, yeah.
from 10 to 20, right? Okay. So how
And
do you like
then
stripping?
I love it. It's a lot of fun. The dancing parts, it's a lot of fun, but most of my job is actually just talking with people. Um, like I literally will spend probably 5.5 hours of my job of the 8 hours that I'm there
Just talking?
just talking to people. Yeah. A lot of
That-
people that come in there, they just don't have anybody else, or they don't have a great communication with their family, or there is a lack of the sexual thing in their relationships or in their life in general. But a lot of the time, it's just people who are lonely or people who are out to have a good time. It's kind of just right in between there.
How old would you say these men are? Like usually, typically, what's the age range?
Any age, like it doesn't matter. Someone who's 21, someone who's 73 comes in, and they're all there for the same reason.
And regardless of the age, not, I would think that 95% of them are there because they're lonely.
I'd say probably more like 75%.
Okay.
Um,
Is it
because
mainly, sorry, go ahead.
you do have the 21-year-olds and the early 20 kid boys or even women who come in there and are just there for like the night, or they're in college and they're out to party or something like that.
So what age range of men do you get the most lonely vibe from?
Oh, generally the older, anywhere from 35 to older.
And these guys are typically
Probably
single, or are they married
some
men
of them
too?
are single, some of them aren't, and some couples come in regularly too.
Okay. What's the craziest experience you've had in 2.5 months so far?
Um,
The wildest.
the wildest experience that I have had in a strip club was actually before I was a dancer.
Actually, when
It
what?
was because I used to waitress in a strip club.
Okay, gotcha.
And so my wildest experience was my first day.
What happened?
I had a guy come in with his girlfriend, and um, they sat down at my tables and I waitressed on him. And then he asked me if I wanted to do Um,
A
some stuff.
threesome?
No, he asked me if I wanted to do some stuff off with his girlfriend.
Some stuff to his girlfriend?
Off of his girlfriend.
Off of his girlfriend. Like what?
Um, drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah,
Where off of her?
her boobs.
Her boobs. And what kind of drugs?
Yep.
Coke?
Mhm.
Okay. Did you do it?
No.
Why? Didn't offer enough enough incentive?
No, it's just not my thing.
Okay. So did you graduate? I'm guessing you graduated high school or got a GED. Did you get a
Uh,
GED?
neither.
Neither.
I have
Okay. When
neither.
did you
I'm
drop?
working toward. I dropped out of high school because I got kicked out of my house.
Why did you get kicked out of
I
your
had
house?
um. I went to go see a guy who I considered to be like my adopted dad. He wasn't like my dad, but he'd been in my life for the last. At that time, it had been the last 5 years, and it was our first Christmas, his first Christmas without his biological daughter. She died in the June before then. And I asked my mom if I could go spend Christmas over there with him because his oldest daughter, he didn't know if she was going to come to town or not. And so I went and I spent the beginning of Christmas with him. And then my mom started texting him, accusing him of touching me when he never had touched me, he never made advances towards me, and my mom accusing him of stuff like that. And so I got in my car and I drove to my mom's house and I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you bring that up? Why are you the way that you are? And then I realized it was 12 p.m. or 12, yeah, it was 12 p.m. It was noon, and my mother was hammered, like absolutely hammered, which isn't something that was abnormal, but it also, 12 p.m. was pretty early, even for my mom.
Is she an alcoholic?
She is, yeah.
And she was when she was pregnant with you?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Okay. How did you meet this guy?
He used to be friends with my mom.
Oh, okay.
They
And
used to.
how old is he or was he
He was. He's 43, I think.
now?
Yes,
And how old were you when that happened?
I was 18.
You were 18?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
So
so
my mom told me to get, if I wanted to act like this, I could get my shit and I could get the fuck out of the house. And I said, you're the one that's acting batshit crazy, not me. And I went in, I got my dog, I got some clothes, I got to my car, and I slept in my car for a little while. And it was like, it was one of the coldest winters that we'd had in a really long time. And I nearly froze to death that winter.
so he was 41 at that time, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So if you got kicked out at 18, so you were almost close to finishing high school, right? So
I was halfway through my senior year.
how come you never got your GED or finish it if you're that close?
I couldn't go to school and work and support myself. So I wasn't doing great in high school anyway because COVID happened halfway through my junior year, and I did not do well with online schooling, so I was failing anyway. So I said, you know what? I'm making decent money at the job I'm at now. I need to work so I can survive. So I quit going to school and I just kept going to work.
So that's when you became a waitress?
No, at the time I was working at Taco Bell. I'd been there for a year.
And that was your first job?
No, it was my second job.
What was your first job?
I worked at a elevator, a grain elevator.
Okay. And how old were you? How old were you when you started that?
I started that when I was 15.
Okay. So you worked at Taco Bell and then you became the waitress at the strip club. No?
After I worked at Taco Bell, I worked at Panera Bread.
An Bread, okay. And then you became waitress after that. And then from the same place you're being the waitress at is where you ended up being a stripper at. No? You changed strip clubs?
Yeah, I switched gentlemen's clubs.
What was that?
Um, the club that I was working at was racist.
They were
She wouldn't
racist?
hire, yeah, she wouldn't hire anyone that had a skin tone that was darker than someone who was maybe 3 or 4 shades darker than a Mexican. Like a
They
dark,
would
like if you were dark, she would not hire you.
then
Like if you were, it didn't matter how gorgeous you were, and some of those girls would have been epic dancers, but she would not hire them because of how dark their skin was.
did they pay you better or worse than where you are now?
I worked strictly as tips, just like kind of like I do now. I get paid more now, but I wasn't making bad money there either.
Okay. Um, so where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
In 10 years, I have no idea where I see myself.
Okay,
Currently,
5 years from now.
um, well, currently I'm working to get my actually my fitness coach license. Um, and I'm gonna do that for probably a while, and I'm plan on dancing for probably the next 5 to 10 years, probably. So dancing, getting my high school education so that I can go to business school and to culinary school, and I can get a science background in cannabis.
So why dancing and stripping? Because there's other part-time jobs you could be doing if that's your goal to subsidize for your school. But why stripping? Like,
There, there are stripping's kind of it's a means to an end, and it's a lot of fun. It keeps you active, and it helps me work on my communication skills because I have issues with communications. It's I will stumble a lot over my words.
say that again, sorry.
I tend to stumble over my words, and so I'm a lot better than I was 4 months ago, or even 3 months ago. Um, so that's part of why I started working there, because I knew that it would get me the exposure that I needed with people. And the other thing is there's so many different types of people that come in there from all over the world. I've had people from Africa or Russia and England. I've talked to different people that are all from all over the place, and I've only barely been working there. And that's just something that I really love doing, is talking to people and getting to know like where they're from, how they were raised, and so on.
So the degree or the certification that you want to get, you mentioned, how much would that pay you? And can you sustain a lifestyle that you dream of doing that?
Dancing or being a personal trainer?
Personal trainer, because that's your end goal, right?
No, my end goal is to have a restaurant and a dispensary.
Okay, you want to open your own business as a restaurant owner,
Yep.
and you plan on doing that through the money you get now and you save up, and okay, I got you. How long do you think that would take you to get to that, and and
Probably
to
15.
and to sustain it as a successful business?
To get to it, probably 15 years, and to sustain it as a successful business. I hope to have that accomplished before I die.
Okay, so you'll be mid-30s by then?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Do you plan on having a family?
I do. I actually ideally, I want a big family with a lot of kids if I can afford it, but if I can't, I want like 4 kids.
4 kids?
Yeah.
How much money do you think you and your husband combined would need to sustain a lifestyle with 4 kids?
A lot.
Well, give me a
Lot.
number. Give me a number.
Um,
And
okay, so
I don't
four
mean I don't mean like bare minimum, because I'm sure
No,
you don't want to give your kids a bare minimum lifestyle, do you?
no.
Okay.
4 kids. So just to give birth to them, that's probably going to be for 4 kids around 100K. To support their foods and a place to live and their everyday basic needs is at a minimum going to be at least another 200K over the 18 years for 4 kids.
You're talking about 200K for 4 kids or one kid?
Four
Okay.
for like for it might be even more than that, depending on how big the house is, how much money, or I give it an estimate for 4 kids, probably close to 50, probably $1 million for 4 kids over 18 years with the way that the economy is going.
That number is correct if you guys don't own a house. That's just for the kids, $1 million. I did your research for you, that way you don't have to do it. But I'm guessing based on your answer that you don't want to give your kids bare minimum, your house cost probably gonna be from anywhere from 250,000 to 350,000. That's like that's not bare minimum, but that's not uppity suburbans either. I do rental business. That's how I know these numbers. I'm actually in my rental right now. I come here to record videos, so this is open. Probably gonna rent it out here soon. But anyways, so to obtain that kind of lifestyle, you said is gonna take you at least till your mid-30s, or not to obtain that kind of lifestyle, but to open a business and to sustain that at least 15, 20 years. So are you gonna have kids after that or getting to that?
Probably getting to that
So don't you think those kids gonna hinder that growth?
a little bit, but also you got to have some struggle in your life. Like, I'm not saying my kids are going to starve because they're not, but we're not going to live rich and uppity. We're not going to have the most perfect brands. I'm going to treat my kids fairly, but mostly I want them to focus on the way they treat people, the way that they see themselves, and focus less on like the material stuff that we need, but more on who they are as a person. Like, I want to raise somebody, if they want to be a leader, they want to be a leader. If they want to be an actress, they want to be an actress. And I want my kids to do exactly what's going to make them the happiest.
Right, that's
But
great, but I'm talking about just to sustain them from 0 to 18. We just went over the numbers. You need $1 million at least. And on top of that, you want to build a business. That restaurant business is probably going to cost you 500,000 if it's a small business. Now,
yeah.
if you're talking some mediocre size to a larger business, 1 million. So, and your plan is to have kids while you're growing yourself, and you're also acknowledging the fact that that might hinder your growth.
Mhm.
Now, let's go into a little bit personal question. How much money would you say you have in your savings right now?
Not a lot.
A
Probably
lot?
about
$10,000? More than that?
no,
Oh, okay. $5,000?
no. I
3,000?
was more like 800.
$800? Okay. And you said that's a lot?
I said that's not a lot.
Oh, okay. You said not a lot. Okay, got you. So what does your fiance do? You mentioned you're engaged. So what does he do? And how old is he?
He's 21. He works for a convenience store. He works for a Quick Trip.
What's his plan to make it in life?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
He's not sure what he wants. We both know we want to do some form of a college or technical school. That's most of what we know.
So how long have you been dating him or been with him?
9 months.
9 months? 9 months. Okay. And when did you guys get engaged?
2 months ago.
2 months ago. Okay. So 7 months into dating, you guys got engaged.
Uh, No, we got engaged 2 months ago.
Right. So seven, and you've been together for 9 months. So 7 months into dating, you got engaged.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay. So here you are as a 20-year-old with big dreams, 4 kids. That's going to cost you at least $1 million and a business you want to start. You want to be an entrepreneur. Um, but you're with a man. You landed or you took your boat to someone's harbor who doesn't even have a plan for themselves.
Mhm.
How smart was that?
We're both young. We have time to figure it out. If it takes the rest of our lives, well, that's the whole point of us wanting to get married.
Do
Being
you
together,
have
there's
time? He might, but do you have time though?
I
If
always have time.
huh?
We always have time.
Do you think you can have kids at 45, 50?
Yeah, I don't have to have biological children.
Oh, okay, so you're open to adopting kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, Interesting. How long you plan on doing stripping?
5 to 10 years.
You said what?
5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years? Are you good at dancing?
I'm getting there. I'm not bad as a beginner.
Show me a move.
No, I
Why?
don't have a pole.
You say you're not comfortable?
I don't have a pole.
Oh, you can't do anything on the ground?
Oh yeah, no.
Huh?
No, I'm not comfortable with doing that.
Oh, okay. I got you. No worries. All right. Are you still in touch with your parents? You talk to
Yep.
them and they're supportive of your decision on getting married with this guy?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. And I don't mean any disrespect or anything, obviously, because you gotta live up with the decisions you make, right? But I don't know, it just seems like you have the goals, but you don't have the clear steps or directions to get there, and you're setting up a lot of hurdles in the way. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Well, that's something that's very possible. Sounds exactly like something I would do in my life.
okay, you want to take chances with your life like that. That's what you're saying?
I do usually. I'm like, I
Why
know,
is that?
I don't know. I just do things the way that my brain says to do them, and they usually work out.
They usually
So,
work out. Give me an example.
yeah. Um, well, even, oh my God, I don't even know where to start with that.
You had so many successes that you don't even know where to start.
I've had so many things that my brain has been like, do it this way, it'll work out. That I did it and it worked out the way that I wanted it to. Like, can start with when my mom kicked me out. After I lived in my car with my dog for a couple of days and we almost froze to death, a friend of mine was like, I have a place you can stay. It's really shitty, but it's better than living in your car. You'll be able to stay warm in the house. So I moved into a trailer, and from there, um, my mom ended up taking my car back that I had paid her for, but my name was not on the car. Her name was. So she took it. So I was given a car, and I drove that around, and then one day I had I had to move out of the town that I was living in. And then my uncle was like, hey, I just moved to a new place. I have enough room. You can come move in with me. And then I was able to switch from my job that I had at the time to the same job that was in that town that my uncle lived in. So I just moved from here to here. And then when I was living with my uncle, I met a girl who got kicked out of her house, and then so her and I moved into my car, and then we ended up moving in with with a couple of people who we had worked with. We were all working night shifts. We were all the shift managers, and so all four of us just moved in together, and that was a hell of a time. That was a hell of a summer. And then one day, some stuff happened, and I ended up moving from there to my grandmother's house in Wichita, and I lived with her. And then more shit happened, and I had to move again, and I got a place to move again, and more shit happens, and I had to move again. And now I'm looking for a place, which is why I got a hold of you for me and my fiance to move in together with.
So it sounds like there's a lot, like your life's been very chaotic, correct?
Yeah.
And would you like to enjoy the finer things in life? Would you like to have a good lifestyle, like a traveling lifestyle? Not necessarily luxurious lifestyle, but you know, just the nice things in life. Because it sounds like you haven't enjoyed it yet,
So,
correct?
well, I do enjoy my life. It's chaotic and it's crazy, but it keeps me entertained.
No, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm asking you that would you like to live a life that's probably 10 step better, for lack of word, than where
It
it
would
is
be
now?
nice. I mean, I'm pretty sure we would all like to live in a life that's 10 steps better than where we're at.
Right. So, and that's where I'm bringing the point back because you said that you kind of just do things with your life and you figure it out, right? You can never buy back time, right? None of us can. Once time's gone, time's gone. So once your 20s are gone, they're gone. Once your 30s are gone, they're gone. When you're in your 50s, 60s, you can't bring back the youth, the um, cheerfulness, the fire that's in you right now, right? Because you're old, you lived most of your life. So
Well, why wouldn't you have those things when you're old?
why would you what?
Why wouldn't you have those things when you're old? Why wouldn't you have a fire, super cheerfulness? Why couldn't you do the same things that you do now? Why couldn't you?
Because life beats you down, your health beats you down, your body beats you. You just don't have that energy in you anymore to do
That's
life.
okay. There, there are people that I see that come into my strip club. I have had women who are in their 70s, late 70s, come into the strip club and they're having a hell of a time.
But you don't know what they're doing outside of the strip club, and that's not the norm. How many 70-year-old women you see in there versus 20, 30-year-old, right?
Well,
I'm talking about the norm here, and I'm not talking about anomalies. So, and this guy is not the first guy in your life, your fiance, right?
no.
Okay. And again, another personal question. When did you lose your virginity?
I
Like, how
was
old were you? You were 13?
no, I was 14.
14?
No. No, I was 13.
13, okay. And how many guys would you say you've been through since then till now?
7
7, okay. Relationships or just all together?
altogether.
All together, okay. So 7 guys have been in and out of your life so far. So what makes you think is gonna last a lifetime with this guy?
Because he has no interest in changing me. And he kind of just stares at me when I do stupid shit and laughs at me.
But you've been with him for 9 months. You think life is only 9 months long? You got
No,
about 60 more years to live, at least.
maybe.
So
Or
you
I'll
don't,
die tomorrow. I don't know.
so you don't think he has the time or the scope to change?
He doesn't have to change.
He doesn't have to, but can he?
Well, we all can.
Huh?
We all can.
We all can. So if he does change and you've been with him for a certain amount of time and now you don't want to be with him anymore because he changed, then don't you think you just kind of wasted all those years with him?
No.
No? Okay.
If you're with somebody for a long time, you're with them for a reason. If you're miserable and you're still with them, well, you shouldn't be. If you're staying with them, then you can't really blame anybody, but unless they are forcing you to stay in this relationship and you are afraid for your life, if you are not happy, don't stay. There's no reason to stay if you're not happy.
I understand that, but the point is, once you break a relationship up, you start over with whoever is next, right?
Yeah,
But that time you just spent with them, that time is gone. You can't go back and buy that time again.
no, but you learned a lot of lessons that you can take into your next relationship. You learned how you want to act, how you want to treat them. You learned things that you hated about this person that, hey, I don't want this in my next relationship with this person. So I'm going to look for somebody who fits the qualifications that I'm looking for. If it takes you up until you're 70, it takes you up until you're 70. I don't know why everybody's like, we have to have it now, now, now. Life is going to take time if you want it to be good, period. Like, that's, it's going to take time. Yeah, there are some people who get lucky and they're able to just get it big right off the bat. And that's like, they get blessed that way. And that's cool. But
So
that's not how it
the
is all the
things that
time.
didn't suit with that didn't fit you well from the previous partner, and you want to look for those things in the next partner, but what about the next partner not having the things that the last partner did have? Or
Well,
do you think do you think you're ever gonna find somebody that's gonna give you everything you're looking for? That he doesn't have any kind of imperfections?
I doubt it. No one's
Right.
perfect.
So here, hold on. So if you doubt it, so that means you're constantly gonna go through people with that
No.
logic, right? No?
Well, you will if you're in a relationship, you if you can work on it and you can fix it, you can work on it and you can fix it, and that's what you should do. You should try to work on it. You should try to fix it. But if not,
But your track record shows you weren't able to. So what makes you think you will do it now?
my track record doesn't say I wasn't able to. My track record
You're
was
with
one
seven
guy.
other people. You're with seven other guys. You weren't able to work any of those out. So what makes you think you're gonna be able to work this one out?
The first one I was 13. That obviously wasn't going to work. Period. The second one, I was a freshman in high school. He was an arrogant, short-headed asshole. The third one, he was just he was bad. He was just flat bad. The fourth guy I was with is that was entertaining. The fifth guy I was with, the guy I was with before this one, fucked me around in the head. Like, he wasn't ever mean to me. He never
Right.
lied.
So the guys you're picking are not good guys. That's what you're saying. Right.
They're
So
not.
but you're picking them. So what does that say about you? You're the one who's making that decision, right? Because we attract what we are, correct?
We
Correct.
attract what we are, or we are attracted to what either our parents are like, a combination. It it's not a definite, oh, you date assholes, you're an asshole, or you date asshole, the only thing you're ever gonna find is an asshole. Like, the guy that I'm with now is unlike any other guy that I have ever dated in my life. He is absolutely the sweetest, kindest, sensitive.
Is this guy your longest relationship?
No.
Okay.
My longest relationship was on and off for 5 years.
And that relationship started off, I'm guessing, okay, and then eventually got worse, right?
He ended up cheating on me.
So if that relationship ended up like that, what makes you think this guy might not?
Well, I don't think it won't. I just hope it won't. It's the only
You're
thing I
hoping,
can do.
okay.
I can't say for sure that one day he's not going to go do some